It's an amazing opportunity here in Texas. So as you know, we've got a lot of renewable potential in Texas. We've got great sun, great wind. We want to bring in as much of that as we can into the state. Now we have to make sure that we have the other elements to also balance it when those pieces aren't there. But we're very, very positive about the interest we have in renewable development in Texas. Along with that is coming a great deal of new batteries, battery storage. It's going to help us to manage that grid in the future. We think in the next year we'll have over 3,000 megawatts of batteries in Texas. As you mentioned, Bitcoin is also interesting, or let's call it, I think cryptocurrency is what a lot of folks call it. Cryptocurrency creates this great opportunity for us. As we get more and more renewable generation, in particular wind, and wind is operating at night, we have an excess amount of wind. And we need to find a home for that. Otherwise, we just have to turn the wind down, and it's such a great resource, we shouldn't be turning it down. So crypto has found a way to come into our market and to take some of that excess wind in off-peak periods. And then when we get to peak period times, they're very quick to remove themselves from the market as prices increase. So it's a great opportunity for us. So the more demand, to the degree that it's flexible, that it can turn down whenever we need the power for other customers, is fantastic. As I said, we can use that cryptocurrency to soak up the excess generation when there's a lot of that, and really provide a home for more wind and more solar to come to our state. And at the same time, it reduces their consumption during periods where we get tight and we need the power for other customers. So it's a great balancing act. Now what we have to do in Texas is figure this thing out, right? It's new. A lot of the solar is new, the batteries are new, and this cryptocurrency is new. So we have to find a way to really utilize it within our system most advantageously. One of the things that we're currently looking at is that these loads come in a very large way. So we have to figure out ways to make sure that we're putting them at the right location and that we can build out our transmission grid to accommodate them. But let me give you a sense of the size. You're in Austin today. The entire city of Austin consumes on average about twice the amount of energy as one of these cryptocurrency facilities. So cryptocurrency is about half the size on average as the city of Austin. That gives you the scale. So we have to make sure that when these things are coming on and off the grid, that we have the other tools available to us, because as you can imagine, two children sitting on a seesaw. If one of them jumps off, there's going to be imbalance. So we have to make sure that we can balance these in the right way. That's what we're working on today. So when we look at a customer, we're not looking at, say, a Microsoft or somebody like that. We're not looking at it as a Walmart, but we look at it as a type of customer and how the load presents itself to us. So cryptocurrency is very unique in that way, and that all of the load can come off. Most other of the data centers, whether, as I said, Microsoft or any other data center provider, Amazon, they all have customers to serve every hour of the day, so they can't just turn off. But these cryptocurrencies can. They're just valuing what they can produce in terms of cryptocurrency versus what the cost of energy is in the market, and if the cost gets too high, they can remove themselves completely from the market. From our perspective, they're also helpful if we happen to lose a generator trips offline. They can real quickly respond to that frequency disruption and allow us to balance our grid more efficiently. Cornerstone of the improvements that we put in is to weatherize our generation fleet. Now, the generation fleet was weatherized before, but not to the severity of the storm that we saw in 2021. They'd weatherized to our previous most severe storm, which was in 2011. And so generators have increased their weatherization capabilities. We have also gone out at ERCOT and inspected over 324 of these generating units. And prior to this winter, when we inspected them, 99% of them passed the test. And they've done extraordinarily well during this winter. The Public Utility Commission is looking at a phase 2 of weatherization. And the idea is really to see if we need to take another step. Do we need to prepare for something worse than a 2021 winter? And that discussion is ongoing. Crypto was a help, but that was just a small portion. A very small amount of the crypto was available this year. But we expect crypto to grow extraordinarily. Over the next 2 years, we think we'll have as much as 5,000 megawatts of cryptocurrency load. Crypto people are fantastic to work with, but they're different. They remind me of Texans of the past. They're wildcatters. They're taking great risk for great reward. And they're used to moving very quickly to make change. The electric grid doesn't move as fast. So we have to make sure that we can both speed up and they can recognize our need to slow down at times to make sure we're getting them in the right location and that we have the right transmission assets to serve them. That's going to be an effort that we have to work out together.